Relatable. Are you feeling? We can make. Hey, we could write the intro song. Relatable.
You got to be relatable. I feel. Okay. Oh.
All right. So.
All right. Welcome to the Forever podcast, where we talk about all things business, marketing, and we do get a little personal as we dive into people's personal stories.
You're in my personal space right now.
I feel in your personal space at this very moment. So we're going to be talking about my book that's coming out, Change Your Circle, Change Your Life.
Jamar Jones, Foureva.
It's going to be
Randy
fantastic. How did you want to kick this off, Randy?
Let's get it started. Hey, we're going to be talking about your book because that's one of the most interesting things you've got here in 2021.
Yes.
Finally going to be an author. Going to have the prestige.
That prestige.
Prestigent.
You got to be prestigious.
You're going to be at the precipice.
Dang it, I was going to use that word. I was going to use it.
Feel free to use it again.
I'm going to use it a little later on.
All right, so we are talking about the book. One more time. What's that book called?
Change Your Circle, Change Your Life.
All right, so where did that come from?
It came from just learning throughout my life journey about how different circumstances kept happening to me and then to others, and then putting that together as what's the one thing that is always one of the deciding factors. And it's usually the people's circle. Okay. It's not even about the environment. It's not about all the other excuses that you can make. It's about the direct circle of people that are influencing your everyday decisions.
Why is this the first thing that you felt most passionate? Like, I got to get this one out. Why this topic? Of all the things you could write about.
Man, I mean, I got a lot to write about. But I think this one is the one I felt was the most put together. Idea that I could write multiple chapters and give different stories and instances about this and have the most context to back it up. I just feel like this was the perfect package that was already there. I have other ideas, but this is definitely the most put together.
Yeah. And what would you say of other books you've read or other authors you've heard? Like, what could people like in this? Is there a certain style you're going to have in it? Or how do you see the book unfolding? Is it going to be very much like just your voice and all your ideas just coming out on word? Is it structured and like, here's the lesson, now go do this? Like, is there a structure to it that maybe people could relate to or that they would be expecting? Like, it's going to deliver.
Relatable?
Is it going to be relatable? Hey, everybody has a circle.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't matter how small or big your circle is.
You got some type of circle.
And most people have a tight circle no matter how big they are. So you're a celebrity, you've got this huge area of people that you touch and all these acquaintances, but then they have a core group
that core
people.
Circle.
So are you talking about the core group or how far out will this go?
I'm talking about your core group.
Okay.
Yeah. Because those are the people that are going to influence you the most.
Will you touch on like the business associates or getting around those kind of people too?
100%. Okay. Yes. So to answer your question, I believe that the best format is story, lesson, task. So giving something that people can understand and be like, hey, I get why that is. And then what's the lesson? And that's the shorter piece of it. So what's the takeaway? And then what's your task? How can you do an actionable thing about that lesson, about that story right now and make those changes? It could be a little bit of homework. It could be just, training mindset. It could be what actionable things can you take to start getting in the right circles or developing your right circle. There's a lot of things that it'll have, but I want people to actually take action on the book.
Probably one of the most important things people think of when they think of a circle is getting the wrong people out of their circle.
Yes.
Are you going to have an ejection plan?
There will be an ejection plan. Hey, you have to eject those people because they somehow ended up there, but you were not self-aware enough to know whether they should go or not and how to get them to leave. And the worst ones are your family.
Yeah.
Those are the worst ones that you're like, you can't fully eject them out the seat, but you can.
Using altitude.
but you can limit your interaction.
Absolutely.
You know, with even family. Hopefully you don't live with them. If you live with them, you have to figure out a way to get out.
Get out.
You gotta get out.
What are your thoughts about getting the right people into your circle? Just your initial things you're going to be putting into this book. How do you get those right people? Hey, I want to be around these people.
Yeah.
But
how do you get around them? You got to understand what your goals are first. So what are you trying to accomplish? Either it's a friendship. What kind of friend are you looking for? You need to put out the goal, the mindset of what you want to know what you want to know how to get it. So then even if it's maybe it's a relationship, you know, what kind of woman are you looking for? What kind of guy are you looking for?
What kind of significant other might
significant other, you know, you got to
be a dating book.
It will have different applications to it.
That logo with the circles and then one's a heart.
And one's a heart for the loved one. The love.
I'm basically the co-author of this book.
He's actually writing it. I'm not. My face is just going to be on.
Just write something about circles and people. Let me know how it works out.
You know, so it's going to be, your love life. It could be your professional life, as far as like what career path do you want to go down, and then how are you going to tackle that? And then it can also be, what do you want to do? Like, what's the goals? Is it working out? Is it being more healthy? Is it, I want to achieve these certain accolades? You know, I mean, it could be anything, but you have to know what that is first before you can know how to go about the circle.
You know, you brought up a good point about your goals, your direction, where are you going? Because the other thing is and you should talk about this next because we've talked about this offline, is them bums.
Oh,
right? So
don't give away the chapter now. One chapter is going to be called "Don't Surround Yourself with Bums."
Right, but you can't be a bum yourself and get around, and we use bums not in the literal sense, but like those people who just aren't.
Yeah, we do have to explain that.
People who aren't achieving in life, and they sit around and they complain, and they're just lumps on a log. You could call them lumps, whatever. They're just there. They're bums. They're just sitting there like, I
don't care about my life.
But if you are that way, and you're like, yeah, I just wish everybody around me wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But you yourself are like that. The people who you may want to be around theoretically are the high achievers, or the people who are going in a direction you'd like to go. They're not going to want to be around you.
No.
Because you don't have anything in common with them. There's nothing that what are you going to relate to them on? It's like, yeah, I'm just working this job. And
you're constantly complaining or
I hate my boss. Oh, my wife is stupid.
Excuses.
Exactly. So what and maybe that goes along and dovetails with the goals. Are you going to be speaking about that?
Yes. I mean, that's actually a big chapter in the book. Now everything is,
maybe break it into
it's it's a lot of this stuff is off the cuffs too. So you guys are listening.
This is at
the very beginning stages.
Ground floor of this book, but it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah. So don't surround yourself with bums is that you don't want to have that bum mentality. That's where it comes down. So that mentality will creep then into your actions, your everyday life, how you go about things, how you even decide and think about things. So you want to first be self-aware. It's one of the biggest things. Be self-aware about what's going on and you got to identify the bums in your circle. You got to identify them.
You got to identify the bums living in your mind.
Yes.
Right? You got them bums.
And here's the truth. Today. You might be a bum. You might be a bum. You know?
Where are you in this book? Are you a bum right now?
Are you a bum?
Hey, maybe they could self-evaluate in the book.
Oh, they pick their persona and they say, I'm a bum. No one wants to admit that.
Skip to this chapter.
Skip straight to chapter 5. Don't read anything else.
Well, on that, because that idea that you have, like, man, I got to get away from these bums that I'm hanging out with or whatever, or that we're interacting with you early in business. What are going to be some of the key stories? Is there one key story that you think you would?
Yeah, I can't give, I don't think a direct story right this second, except for when I was starting Foureva Productions, I came from that entertainment background, doing music. So I immediately gravitated towards like the entertainment industry and musicians, club promoters, DJs, music label reps, just anybody in that music industry. And the problem is that the music industry is one of the most brutal industries ever. And there are a significant amount of bums in the industry. And that's the problem. So to give you an example, when I transitioned from the entertainment to the corporate side of things, the bums were limited in the corporate side. There's definitely the bums in the corporate. Trust me, they're there. But it was not at such a high rate, which means my success chances were a lot higher.
Your bum contact rate was way down. Accidental bum.
Because I didn't have to deal with things like and if you're talking about the business side, you didn't have to deal with, there will be a story in there when I was begging people for $5, just to pay for a little logo flyer thing that I made, and I was gonna customize it to them, which normally would, you go anywhere else, it'd be minimum 50 at least for something like that. Yeah,
plus. Yeah,
exactly. And this guy was just like, man, I gotta wait till next week to pay you that $5. And the worst part is the next week happened and he still didn't have it.
If you don't have $5 over a 2-week period,
bums.
You are a bum.
Bums. But then there's so many different examples I can give you from the entertainment versus corporate side, where it's just the mentality of how things are done. Even like your professionalism, how you treat people, what you deem as acceptable. There's so many different aspects of bum mentality that you need to get away from. And when I made that switch, I was less susceptible to the bum mentality.
Well, and that's what I remember from the music industry when you were in that. It would always be people talking about what they're going to do, talking about how they're this, doing a little bit, just enough, but never doing enough to break into anything.
To break in,
yeah. Oh, I got that. Now I'm going to blow up. I did one thing. And I know tons of that happens for people all the time. I did this little thing. Now I'm good for a little bit. No, that's usually not how it works. Nobody's going to notice you because you did one thing one time. It's what are you about on a regular basis? Who are you about? And being about.
About?
Be about it.
Got to be about it.
About.
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst. Everybody just hypes it up, and then they get people on the hype train, and then they're really not going anywhere because they don't even have a plan of how to get there. It's a lot of false promises. That's what the bums produce. Well, false promises.
And the thing that is
I'll pay you back, man, I swear.
The thing that is relatable, Jamar, about this is that everybody, for the Forever podcast,
yes,
everybody can relate to the idea that if they're around a certain level of people, they're never going to get better. You should be the stupidest person in the room. You should be the worst at whatever you're doing, because imagine it's like tennis, right? If I'm playing someone who's worse than me, I'm not going to get hardly better at all. If I'm playing in a league or I'm in a circle with people who are just outpacing me and I'm playing them, I'm going to get better so much faster. Sadly, they're not going to get better playing me at the bum level, let's say.
Right.
But everybody has it. Everybody starts off at nothing. Everybody starts off at terrible. But you got to be around the right people and challenging yourself. That's how you're going to get better. That's why if you're in a circle of bums, there's nobody striving. There's nobody going in any direction. They're going to give you feedback. Yeah, that's not. You shouldn't work that hard. It's like you're not even working enough.
You shouldn't do that because they can't even see themselves doing it. Right. So they don't even deem it possible. So they're already shooting down any idea or anything that you ever wanted to do. And then that just goes with the saying of, if you're the smart person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. If you're literally always the smartest person, you're like, oh, exactly. And you just know everything and you're just like, your IQ level is way above, you are doing yourself a disservice. You need to be the dumbest person in the room, are surrounded by people that are doing great things. So that way you can elevate to that and then keep going and then change the circle. I mean, there's also another piece to this that you do not. So this is actually a golden nugget. Golden nugget.
Here it comes.
You do not want to stick into a circle for too long. So you have your core circle that's there, but as far as when it comes down to like your professional circle, you want to always be changing that circle. Because if you stay, it's almost like that group of coworkers that you always hang around all the time. You don't ever get any other experiences. You're never going to grow professionally. You're never going to meet more people. You're always going to stay in that bubble of this is the only thing that's possible. Yeah. So even if you're an entrepreneur or you work at a company, these are things that you want to branch out. Don't always just hang with those same 3 coworkers that you always, go to lunch with or whatever. Go, ask a different department or go, hang out with some other, or just branch out. Just keep changing that circle over time, because that's the only way you're going to grow and learn other experiences.
All right, last question.
Yes.
When will this singular nugget turn into a pile of nuggets folded up into a book? When will
the book is projected to be released in June.
Ooh, that's printed. That's we pre-order now.
Printed. It's projected to be done in April, but then printed, graphics, everything put together on it, and then after that's done, I want to get an audio version going right away, because I'm an audio guy. You know, I'm not really a reader per se. It's hard to really focus on that. Yeah. But you should get this book and read it.
Different people like different mediums,
especially with, we're doing a podcast right now. I mean, audio is huge. So I would definitely want to get an audio version that's a little bit more gritty, a little more straight to the cut, straight to it. And that's what I want. My
publisher wouldn't let me say this.
Yeah.
Bums.
Get rid of them. Said I actually couldn't put this in the book, but I'm saying it right now.
Saying it. Audio exclusive content.
That's right.
Okay,
so super excited.
6 months from now,
super pumped.
They might hear this way sooner, but they can anticipate and look forward to that.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
Very good.
And Randy Walensky will be making a feature.
Randy Walensky on the cover.
He's got to be. He's got to be in the book in some capacity. It might be the chapter name, Randy Walensky.
Oh my God. I don't know if your readers will
whole
find
story.
That interesting. Let
whole
me tell
story,
you about Randy Walensky.
A lesson behind it, and an action.
The myth.
Can't wait.
It's a good lesson. Some people are good for what you should do.
And what you shouldn't
and some people are good for what you shouldn't do.
That won't be you, man.
There it is.
Nah.
Jamar Jones, future author. Boom. That's it for this one. Tune in to the next episode where who knows what we'll be talking about. Probably something to do with business. Probably something
like, comment, and subscribe.
There you go. And share.
And share
this with your new circle that you're building. Because everyone should be leveling up.
Everyone.
Another chapter you'll put in there, right?
Everyone. Level up.
Level up.
Oh, that is definitely a chapter. You got to level up. Don't give them too much.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.